everybody. Today, I want to talk about something that I actually have shared with my list in the past as a visual only with text and stuff like that, but it's a really fascinating concept that I think goes very much better when somebody is actually talking you through it. So we are going to talk about something called the 4 different styles of parenting. And depending on whatever your personality is and whatever you're bringing to the table, you have one of 4 styles of parenting. And I am going to actually screen share with you so you can see what I am talking about. And you're going to see these 4 different styles of parenting laid out in a way that is super helpful. So I want you to look and see that on the vertical axis of this image, you can see that connection and warmth, degree of connection and warmth. And on the horizontal axis, you can see control and leadership. And depending on the level of control or leadership that you have in your family and the level of emotional connection and emotional intelligence that you have in your relationship with your kiddo, you are going to fall into one of these 4 categories: a permissive parent, an authoritarian parent, an uninvolved parent, or the kind of gold standard of parenting, which is an authoritative parent. That's a parent who has both a high degree of leadership in their family and a high degree of emotional intelligence and connection and attunement with their child. And when you have both of those things running on all cylinders, you are nailing it as a parent. And of course, we all wish we could be this authoritative parent all the time. But the truth is that when our mind drama gets stirred up, we all have one of these other 3 areas that we default to. I have yet to meet a parent who defaults to authoritative parenting, meaning when they are triggered, when their ego's in the driver's seat, when things are upsetting, when things are scary, they naturally still parent as an authoritative parent. Like, that would be great. That's like your dream, right? Of being like the Mary Poppins of parenting. That ain't actually happening, right? When we get stirred up, what happens? We move down one or both of these arrows. So think about yourself. What is your default mode that you go into when things get stirred up for you? Do you become like a pushover parent? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of upsetting you. I don't want to deal with the fallout. Like, I'm really scared because you are not doing great right now, or I'm scared that, because what if my ex is going to get involved, or, there's a lot of reasons why we might accidentally become this pushover parent, right? Or do you become the authoritarian parent, meaning I'm the boss, you become domineering and kind of like the drill sergeant in your family? Or do you just kind of like hide away, right? Like an escapist? All 3 of these things happen. And they happen because our mind drama gets stirred up and we wind up moving down one or both of these arrows. Conversely, if we want to stay in this authoritative quadrant, this place where we have both a lot of attunement with our kiddo and a lot of leadership and authority in our families, we need to do the things that help us move up these arrows. We need to both be putting in place boundaries and consequences and enforcing those boundaries and things like that. That's that control and leadership axis. And we also need to be doing the things that build connection and warmth with our kids. We need to be using reflective listening. We need to be showing up in conversations without agenda. We need to actually be attuning with our kids. Those are the actual actions we need to take to move up those arrows. What do we need to do to be able to move up those arrows? We need to remove all of the stuff that blocks us from moving in that right direction. The fear, the stories, the judgment, the shame, the ego, all of those things that get in the way and keep us stuck moving down instead of up those arrows, moving away from authoritative parenting instead of moving into authoritative parenting. And that's what it is to work with me, to work with a coach. You get both the skills, okay, what are the boundaries and consequences? How do you actually enforce those? And how do you do so without compromising that level of attunement and alignment and connection with your kiddo? And then also, how do you stay connected with your kiddo? How do you see your child? How do you drop the agenda? How do you use great listening skills and communication skills? So you get those amazing skill building pieces. You also get someone who's going to call you and hold you accountable and help you love on yourself so that you can remove those obstacles. Let's talk about your shame. Let's talk about your guilt. Let's talk about your fear. Let's address those things and look them straight in the eye, because when you do, you don't even need to make yourself show up in this authoritative way. It's naturally what happens. Because even though we know that when people are stirred up, their default mode isn't this amazing authoritative parent, it's these other default modes. Conversely, when you don't get stirred up, when you don't have those emotional blocks anymore, the authoritative parent that's already within you is naturally what shows up. It becomes easy. Doing this kind of nurturing work makes parenting the quote unquote right way easy. And I want to invite you to let parenting be easy. Once you actually get the support and help and love and tenderness and grace you need to remove those obstacles, you just naturally flow up those arrows, and that authoritative parent is just what organically comes out of you. And that's the person I know you have inside you at all times. So that is my message for you this week. I love you all so much. I know that every single one of you has an amazing authoritative parent inside of you, and it's my job to help you release and unblock that authoritative parent so that you can be the best, most phenomenal, effective version of yourself as a parent, and love it. Love living your life as a parent. Love your time with your kids. Love your time by yourself. Love yourself as a parent and as an individual. If that sounds amazing to you, and I can't imagine why it wouldn't, you need to be working with me. Set up a discovery call. It is a free chance for us to talk about what does that amazing authoritative version of you look like? What does get in the way? And how can I help you and love on you so that you can actually release that version of yourself? I want to hear about exactly what's going on with you, what you're up against, what makes it hard, how you feel, and what you want, so that I can partner with you to make that happen. Click on the link that's in this video description to set up that discovery call. And I cannot wait to be an amazing little piece of your journey to the parent you want to be. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing day.